New York Commanders fans. Training camp day 9. I had a very, very busy day yesterday. My son's birthday. So I had a very busy day. Shout out to him. He's 5 years old now. So he's getting older, man. He's getting older. Got him in basketball. I'm gonna start him in flag football soon, just to start off. You know, we'll try to get into the pads one day. But you know, he, of course, first and foremost, he's gonna be doing basketball because of me, for sure. But we'll see if we get him in you know, padded football and all that. But let's get to the practice here. So I know they have the day off to either it's a closed practice. I know they don't have an open practice today on August 5th. August 6th, which is tomorrow, they have the open practice. Then August 8th, I think August 7th is going to be a travel day for them to travel to New York, even though it's not like a long travel. I think August 7th is going to be a travel day where they rest and then they get ready for the joint practice with the Jets on August 8th. And then August 10th is the preseason game. Now, the biggest news out of today, I know they did sign Taylor Stallworth, but the biggest news out of today is that Dan Quinn said that Jayden Daniels will play in the Jets game, which is a good thing. Now, I wouldn't expect Jayden Daniels to play much, maybe just the first quarter, 2 or 3 series. You look at C.J. Stroud last year, he didn't play much. Bryce Young didn't play much. I know Sam Howell did play a lot, but, you know, he was a second-year guy. But a lot of the rookies did play, but they didn't play many snaps. I think C.J. Stroud threw like 4 passes in his preseason debut. Let me look at his preseason stats real quick, because that's kind of what the comparison has been. Like, you know, what did C.J. Stroud do in the preseason last year? Give me a second to look. I should have looked this up before I even started the video to make my comparison. But you guys get the point. I know Joe Theismann was adamant about him not playing. Joe Theismann said he was not. He was very confident to say that Jayden was not going to play in the preseason, but he is going to play. Let me look at the stats real quick. So yeah, C.J. Stroud was 2 for 4, 13 yards and 1 interception. So if Jayden Daniels goes out there and does that, then I know a lot of people will be trolling and all kinds of stuff and whatnot if he goes out there and plays like that. But once you got to remember that it's preseason. And Davis Mills went 9 for 12. Case Keenum went 9 for 14. This is why on BetUS, I picked the Jets to win, because I just think Marcus Mariota is going to get a lot of snaps. So even though he is going to play, I just don't think he's going to play a lot. I think if you had to put an over-under on pass attempts, I would do the over-under at 10 pass attempts, or really 8, and I would go under 8 pass attempts. I don't even think he's going to throw that much, to be honest. I really don't. But it is good for him to see the speed of the game. If he gets hit once, you know, of course, I don't want him to get hit, but, you know, he can get used to the NFL speed of the game and, you know, running, evading the rush, you know, just the different speed of linebackers and linemen in the NFL in an actual game, even though it's just preseason. And then the game that Sam played in last year, you know, the Ravens, they play their second squad. The Browns, I think they play their second squad for the most part. Their defense, I can't remember. But the point is that this is good for him. I think it is good that he's going to play and just get, you know, who knows if Terry's going to start. Like, are they going to start the number 1 receivers? That's the question, too, because Terry had the turf toe thing. So, like, I'm kind of iffy on playing Terry in the preseason this year. I personally would not play Terry. Jahan, sure. Diami, sure. Luke, of course. Other guys like that, I would play him, but you know, it's the preseason, so I think it's good that he is going to play, though. I'll say that. I think it's good, but like I said, don't act like he's going to play a lot of snaps, because C.J. Stroud only threw 4 passes, and Bryce Young didn't play much either last year. So, but it's good to hear for sure, and good to see that Jayden Daniels is excited to play in preseason too. In his post practice press conference. All right, so punt returners were Ultimate Zacchaeus, Jahan Dotson, Casimir Allen, Emmanuel Forbes, Mikey Sanders still. Mason Kinahan was out there, so he had a lot of good things to say about Jayden Daniels. He said Jayden Daniels on a keeper just took a 75 yards to the house in a chew clock drill. So, of course, they're not supposed to hit him or anything like that, but still, like, that's something that he certainly can do. We've seen him do that in college many, many times, and he's going to be able to do that in the league as well, for sure. All right. Show a clip of them, like, tackling a new tackling toy. And, of course, the Jahan Dotson pass that Jayden Daniels made. That was a beautiful pass. Laid it right in the bucket. That's what he did in college, too, to Malik Neighbors and all his receivers. Like, just the accuracy, the throwing motion, the touch downfield. Like, I can't wait to see that with him and Terry and Jahan all year this year. All right, Derek Forrest is at practice today with a helmet but no pads. So, you know, I really want to see what happens with Derek Forrest in the preseason. I think he's going to make the roster, but, you know, things just have not gone peachy and cherry for Derek Forrest this preseason so far, but he's very talented. Like I think he can help this team for sure, of course. Dan Quinn said Jerzon Newton will not be practicing today. He said they'll ramp up back off over the next 2 to 3 weeks with him. Dan Quinn also said, man, do you feel his speed? He has speed more like a defensive end, but the size of a big guy. So that's why they signed Taylor Stallworth, just to give Taylor Stallworth the reps. And Jerzon Newton can rest, I guess, some load management for Jerzon Newton to start off. I'm not going to hit the panic button. Of course, it's way, way, way too early. We got a talented guy there, but of course, I think that's a reason why he dropped. But I think he's going to be ready to go and really will help this team. All right, next up, we said some notes from one-on-ones. Wide receiver DBs. Davion Davis had the best catch of the drill with a grab over Caillou Blue Kelly near the end zone. Caillou Blue Kelly's the guy who got cooked by Mitchell Tinsley, who got his ankles broken. Emmanuel Force had an impressive pass breakup against De'Ami Brown. Olamide Zaccheaus had another over-the-shoulder end zone catch. Olamide Zaccheaus has had a really, really good camp. He's making a roster. And that's good to see from Emmanuel Forbes. Anything positive from Forbes, I'll take it right now. Anything positive. Really nice tight window throw on the run from Jayden Daniels over the middle, dropped by Davion Davis. So Davion Davis is a guy fighting to make the roster. You just can't do that and fighting to make the practice squad. Like, you cannot drop passes. Like, I know he's not going to be perfect, but you're making this roster. Got to catch the football. You can't have hands like a snake there. Andrew Wiley update. Nikki Zavala says Andrew Wiley is out here, but so far he's not participating in team drills. So Andrew Wiley, we'll see. I'm just not going to say too much about him anymore until we get to the games. I'm going to just leave it at that on Andrew Wiley. Nikki Zavala says behind 11 on 11s. Dan Quinn is working with Fedarian Mathis to just show him some technique stuff on his pass rush. So that's good. Even though he didn't draft Fedarian Mathis, it's good that he's taking the one-on-one time to work with Fedarian Mathis. And Fedarian Mathis is a bubble guy on the team. Like, we'll see if he makes the roster. You know, they just cut Christian Holmes. So that's another Ron Rivera pick there that is on the bubble there. So we'll see. B-Rob with a catch out the backfield and explosive downfield. He's having a great camp per JP Finley. So Brian Robinson, he's going to have a good year again. I think he's going to have a great year. I think he's capable of having a 1,000 rushing yard season. Him and Eckler are going to be a nasty, nasty duo. Linnell says De'Ami Brown working on Ben St. Juice creating good separation on a dig route. De'Ami immediately, in my opinion, firmly entrenched at wide receiver 3-4. Right now has had a strong camp, has consistently been third wide receiver with the first team all camp. So De'Ami Brown's going to make the team. And that's why I have him on my 6. I've been hearing that Luke McCaffrey's been running with the 3s. I'm not going to get too worked up about that, but I do think De'Ami's going to make the team. They did cut Demir Bird. They did bring in Byron Pringle. Now, the only way that De'Ami can get cut is if he goes out there in preseason and just drops passes. That's the only way I see him being released. But other than that, and Dan Quinn shouted De'Ami out the other day. One-on-one red zone drills with wide receivers and cornerbacks. Mikey Sanders still created a tough passing angle on a couple of throws per Ben Standing. So that's good for Mikey Sanders still. And then an offensive line update. There's been a lot of mixing and matching going on the offensive line. Trent Scott, for the second straight practice, ran with the first team as a right tackle. So that shows you what's going on with Andrew Wiley. And then Cornelius Lucas working as second team left tackle behind Brandon Coleman. So that is the update there. Brandon Coleman is the number one guy at left tackle. So he just has to hold on to it, man. Just hold on to it, and we'll see how he does in these preseason games. Brayden Daniels has been working as the third team, another guy that is on the bubble, Ron Rivera guy. I don't think Brayden Daniels is going to make the roster. I don't think he's going to be on IR. I just think he's going to be straight up released. He might be on the practice squad, but I think he's going to be straight up released. We'll see what happens with Ricky Stromberg. I think Ricky's going to make the team. And then there was somebody, Mason Brooks, the undrafted free agent. I think he'll be on the practice squad. Jamin Davis had edge rusher during the team period with the ones opposite Cleveland Farrell. He's been solid working game stunts. A lot better there versus one-on-one pass rush situation. Good to hear from Jamin Davis. Like I said, him and Forbes, anything positive, I'll be happy with that. Jayden Daniels with a beautiful ball to Jahan Dotson on a corner route for about 25 yards. Excellent job layering the ball over the sinking quarterback. Can't wait to see him versus the Jets. So that's the pass that I showed in the beginning, and the beautiful pass, the beautiful touch, the accuracy, and the throwing motion by Jayden Daniels connecting to Jahan Dotson. And then even Ben Standing loved the play. Today's highlight that you'll see later on the team's feed. Jayden Daniels with a perfect deep shot from the pocket to Jahan Dotson, who found space around the 5. Even on quieter days, the quarterback makes a play in practice that shows why the hype is immense. Even Ben Standing is he's a tough judge. He can be a Russian judge. Him and Nikki, they can be Russian judge sometimes, and kind of not negative Nancy's, but kind of like they keep it real as much as they can. And even Ben Standing's out there hyping up Jayden Daniels, so I think the hype is real for sure. Marty Rogers citing him made a nice catch from Marcus Mariota per JP Finlay. So that's good to hear from Armani Rogers, another guy on the bubble there that I would like to see him make the roster, but it's going to be tough for him. If they keep 3 tight ends, then I don't see him making the roster. If they keep 4, maybe he can beat out Cole Turner. Jayden Daniels busts out a long touchdown run, and the crowd loves it. I already talked about that earlier. That was a 75-yard run. And then that is it for today. Shout out to Mason Canahan. He said Jayden Daniels went 12 for 16 today. Of the 4 incompletions was 1 drop from Jayden Daniels, 2 would-be sacks, and 1 bad pass. So that's it. Other than that, Jayden Daniels had a heck of a day. Shout out to Mason Canahan. Make sure you guys subscribe to him, his podcast, and follow him on Twitter at Mason_Canahan, and also subscribe to his YouTube channel, Keeping Up with the Commanders. I was on his channel last year. Great guy, up-and-coming guy. Not up-and-coming, he's arrived. He's arrived. Not up-and-coming, he's arrived for sure. So shout out to him for sure. I got to put his link down below in the description because he's always giving great updates from training camp. All right, the kicking update, I think both went 4 for 5. Ramiz Ahmed missed a 42-yarder, so Ramiz Ahmed, and then Riley Patterson missed a 42-yard kick. Both kickers went 4 for 5, so no guy has really, beat the other guy out just yet. Another thing where we have to see in preseason how these guys kick in preseason. They did bring in 2 right-footed punters after practice. I don't think Tressway is in trouble or anything like that, but they said the Jets have a right-footed punter, so they just wanted to get like a similar practice for getting ready for the Jets. And then Taylor Stallworth, 6'2", 300 pounds. Just going to give a quick update here before we wrap it up. 6'2", 300 pounds. Has appeared in 58 NFL games with 4.5 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. So he's put up some numbers, not big numbers, but he's made an impact in the NFL. He has less than 80 snaps over the last 2 seasons, however. So more of a camp body. He did go to, what college did he go to? Undrafted guy, went to South Carolina. His best year in the league was with the Colts, where he played in 16 games, had 1 start and had 3 sacks and 4 tackles for loss and 12 quarterback hits. So that's an impactful season there. So I'm not going to sleep on him. I don't think he'll make the team. We'll see. But 3 sacks in the season is decent. It's decent. That's what I'll say about that. So just a camp body just to help with the load management for Jazon Newton. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Health Commanders. I'll see you guys tomorrow after practice. Health Commanders. Peace.